Don't tell me I haven't.
This is bullshit. My cousin just made a birthday post for my brother and called him her favorite cousin. What the fuck?
All right, Steve. Hit the play button, boys.
All right, so we're rolling. Do you have filming your cameras? Okay, gotcha.
All right, and that's how it's going to start.
And
this is a very special episode. We're graced by a complete stranger sitting at the table here, Buddy DeMarco, father of 3.
Yes.
And one of which is sitting right here.
Hello.
Yes, my youngest son.
Yeah. So let's start it off.
Yeah.
How do you deal with working with him, and vice versa, Joe?
It's not great.
How do you enjoy working with your father?
That's a trick question, right? No, it's a dream come true. I couldn't have asked for more. He's a individual that is dedicated to. He's always been an individual from the time he was 5 years old. That's always been responsible. We always called him the responsible one in the family. We would defer to Joe on most big decisions.
Yeah.
It's true. He's very mature. When he came to work with Saltwater, I think he was a little surprised of what it means to be working for yourself. And you try to explain to somebody that, hey, this is a job that's not 9 to 5 or even 9 to midnight, but it's basically 24/7 small business. And he's done an extremely great job of learning to deal with that, embracing it to some extent, and also questioning it to some extent as well. At the end of the day, he's come to terms, and because of a couple of different reasons. One is that the business is really doing well, and the work ethic, the drive to make the business really do well isn't because we open stores in great locations, because of the daily grind that it takes to put together a business like we put together. So he's stepped up to the plate, and he's hit grand slams every time, out of the box. Just a tremendous asset to the company. And everybody's replaceable, especially me. In any company, you try to tell people that, but Joey's not replaceable. Joey is the heart and soul of Saltwater. That makes me tear up a little bit.
Oh wow, that was really nice. So. Eric, the editor, is like getting a little emotional himself over there.
Yeah, he's crying over there.
Sure, I get very emotional.
That was really nice.
No,
true.
So same question to you. What's it like working with your father on this? You guys are on a crazy journey right now.
Yeah, no, the generational gap is sometimes a little difficult, but he's bought into a lot of it, more surprisingly than I expected, especially with doing the social media, the content, slowly but surely getting into some advertising and paying for advertising. But he's done a terrific job before I got on board with the word of mouth and hitting the ground hard, going to festivals and explaining his vision of what he saw Saltwater to be. And I've kind of taken his message and tried to spread that message to the masses. And along the way, met some amazing people, and, working with some other people that are getting on board and putting a lot. I'm learning how everybody gives a lot and hasn't asked for so much in return. They all want to see my dad's original vision to now it's becoming everyone's vision to grow this brand. So he's taken a lot of steps in learning a lot about this digital era, I guess you would say. And, his idea of starting with brick and mortars is very different than the norm. And I think he's always been the person that goes against the norm, and he could tell you more about his background and stuff.
Yeah, it was kind of the direction that I was going to go.
Like I was able to go to, college and play lacrosse and do all those things. And, he had a different, upbringing, which is relentless. And that's why he is who he is today. And I'm slowly but surely taking on that same mantra of being just relentless, grinding, and growing something really together. It's a lot of fun. But sometimes you do feel like you're on an island when you're an entrepreneur. But it's good to have like a family member that's in the same boat with you. So the days are not always the best days. Some days are low days, some days are high days, and most days are pretty good though. So that's what's like working with your dad.
So that, he touched on your background and all of that. You're kind of like a serial entrepreneur, I guess. Have you ever worked for someone else, or have you only ever worked for yourself?
I've had partners in other businesses, so that feels like working for with somebody. In general, no. When you grow a business and you have big customers, you kind of work for them.
Mm-hmm.
And you probably see in your business now, you work for yourself.
Yeah, but it's a service. It's a service-based company, right?
Yep.
Like you guys are,
so
clients as much as we have a relationship that's beyond that. It's, we are serving the people that we work with.
Yeah. So I'm going to say a couple of things, and I grew up in a small family business, and our life was interesting. My dad was a small business owner, and the expectations of the oldest son was you had to come work in the family business. So I didn't want to put that burden on any of my children. So I was very careful not to do that intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it rubbed off or it changed. But what my background was, you have no choice. We never, in our family growing up, and we grew up in a great area, Massapequa, where we grew up in a great house. But if we wanted something, if we wanted a new dock or a new boat, or we had to build it ourselves. I said to my dad one day, I said, "Hey, my dad's an incredible guy. He's 80 years old, still works every day." I said to him, "Hey, I want to get a boat. My neighbor Jay got a cool boat." He goes, "Oh, you can get anything you want, whatever you want." I said, "Really, Dad?" He goes, "Yeah, go get work more hours."
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can buy yourself a boat. So that's the kind of family I grew up in. We've had to do that. So my children, I try not to do that with. I try not to use the word, "Oh, we can't afford that." My father would say, "We can't afford that." So I would say, "You know what? We figured this out."
Mm-hmm.
So we've it's been a great trip with what I've learned and what I didn't want to do to my children, even though my children think that I'm a little bit hardcore compared to my dad. And once again, a great guy. My dad was hardcore. And I was very careful when Joey joined Saltwater. Not to say, "Joey, you got to be in Saltwater." Kind of threw the bait out there, and he kind of came to us, or came to me, and it wound up being a great time. Did that answer your question?
Kind of.
Yeah.
What was the original? Beat around the bush a little bit.
Yeah.
It was, I guess you're a serial entrepreneur. So what is your background a little bit? What are some of the things that you've done in the past?
So
and then I'll just before you jump in, relate that back to why start Saltwater? What was the driving force behind that?
So the small family business, we grew that nicely. My dad worked with my dad doing that. And there was amusement vending business, coin operated, kiddie rides, and just based on Long Island. And my dad was definitely my mentor, understanding from indirectly or directly, not really a P&L guy, but understood P&Ls, put together incredible programs. He could design at 60 years old. He was knowledgeable in computers and building it, and he built programs. That business expanded into with my uncle, who's another mentor of mine. Different mindset. He was one that would grab an opportunity and then figure out how to build it later on. My dad was much more conservative. But with that, my uncle and we grew this business into a humongous national company, coin operated, with big box stores involved. Mm-hmm. So that was part of it. Along the way, I also, with my dad, I was 23 or 24, just married. We opened a outdoor batting cage in Miniature Golf Course. And that was very seasonal, cool business, fun to go to, build it, rebuilt it. My dad, once again, took it to the next level of, hey, let's knock it down and rebuild it ourselves. I'm like, let's hire somebody to build this, man. This is too much. But he GC'd it. I was running around with a couple other businesses at the time, so I would come back on the weekends. Very interesting part of my life, growing this business. And it's today, still stands 40 years later. and I still go every day, see my dad there, so it's a lot of fun. So along with the first company, the amusement vending, over to New Jersey, commuted over there, grew this national company through big boxes. And it's somewhere in between there with learning about P&Ls and business, both from my dad and my uncle, more from the hip. I got involved with the restaurant chain, and I learned a lot from those people there. One of my good friends, who was super smart and super hardworking guy, he was a Yale graduate and understood business really, really well. He was clearly a P&L guy, and understanding how it works and how you put it to use in business. So I could now look at, so it takes a bunch of years. So I didn't go to college.
Mm-hmm.
So I lived the world of what a real P&L is. So P&L is based on, hey, we're going to make money at the end of the year. Most small businesses, you grind away and you pay your bills, you're really happy. So learning from these different mentors and how to do this and how to spend the money the right way was interesting. And I've taken all this knowledge that I've put together over the years of grinding away and working really hard, and brought it to Saltwater.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of my legacy business. I kind of threw it out there. I did throw it out there to my 3 children. And when we started, I said I gave each one 10%. 10% of nothing was nothing. And I wanted to really build this into a cool brand, because I love the saltwater. I love the idea of building something from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, that's kind of my background through grinding, working hard. I have a couple of disabilities, learning disabilities. Growing up in school, no, it's funny.
We know.
Yeah.
We're all aware.
Yeah.
No, just joking.
No, it's cool. I have ADHD, dyslexia, and OCD. Very mild on the OCD.
I wouldn't have guessed the OCD part.
Yeah, very mild.
I haven't known you for a while.
Yeah,
You have no idea.
Maybe not.
Yeah. So in school, I always struggled. So I had to create my own world to make it all work. That's why I'm probably self-employed.
Mm-hmm.
I probably could never work for anybody else.
Well, it takes a certain breed,
right,
to be able to do what you do and to be relentless. And you kind of have that.
Yeah.
You have that drive. You have that drive. Like, I've forget what it was. I was on a call last week with one of our vendors. That you were on the call as well. And then afterwards, I called Joe and told him. He's like, "Oh, how'd the call go?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, Buddy did his thing. Like, we got what we wanted."
Yeah.
It's because you're very good at what it is you do.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. No, he's trust me, I think part of half the reason I do what I do with my dad is because I pick up half the slack on the emails and other things that
emails suck. Yeah. Text message, emails.
Yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot of. He's really good at building businesses, and I'm really good at cleaning up the messes and straightening it out. Whatever he's thinking, I understand his language, and it makes it really frustrating for me sometimes because I feel like a secretary, and I tell that to him sometimes.
Yeah,
but
in my life, I've always been able to find somebody who would work with me, who would be my assistant,
Mm-hmm.
to navigate through the minutia, which I call minutia. Other people call productive stuff. I just, after about 15 or 20 emails, I'm like, oh, freaking enough. I wake up every morning at 5, go through my emails, delete. Well, maybe important. I'm not really that person who loves the email world. I love being out and in the stores.
It's not that he's not organized. It's just he needs it to be put into bullet points and very, very simple. And it's worked out for us a lot because now I'm over inundated with everything. So I just pass over the key events to him. But go back to just how you then I guess started the brand, right? I mean,
well, we can jump ahead because I think the story of Saltwater and how you started it as a kiosk in the mall, sewing hats together, sewing shirts, doing the embroidering, doing everything by hand,
right.
And then kind of bootstrapping it and putting it on your back, growing it to the point where Joe came back from school, jumped on board. Like that's all very well documented.
Right.
And if people want to go check that out, they can even go watch Joe's episode on the podcast. And then they can also just go follow Saltwater on social media and kind of see the journey as it's grown. But You mentioned
Maybe an
you know-
interesting point on that. So
Go ahead.
I know we have very little time here, but we're gonna make it work. Interesting. So last night, I was hesitant on doing this podcast, so I did some diligence and I watched the podcast that Joey and you guys did, and I'm blown away. That's what Joey's just tremendously great at this. You are too, of course. You're in the business. And I was just watched it, listened to it, and I said to myself, "What? I can't compete with that. I'm just going to go out there, be myself." I was tearing up in the car on the way home, ride home. I stayed in the New Village store until 10 o'clock last night watching this podcast. Let me get in the car and get home. But man, I watched it 5 other times before that, but thoroughly impressed with my son.
Mm-hmm. Should be.
I was blown away. So
Hell yeah.
And the reality of this business we're in, and I'm going to jump right to it, is there's lots of great brains out there.
Yeah.
And my mentality was, we proved the concept, and you can go back in the videos, we proved the concept through all doing our diligence. Now we're going to jump in, and just like life, we're going to outwork everybody else. Because there's going to be a lot of people smarter than me. Clearly, it's easy. Going to be a lot of people that...
You say that, but it's not easy.
Well, not easy. But a lot of people out there will not... I will just... I'm going to go back to my days in playing sports in school. I was a mediocre athlete who played football in a big school in Massapequa. I played offensive line and defensive line. I looked down in the huddle one time in my size 9.5 shoes, and everybody else was size 15 shoes. But I went to the gym every single day, and I was able to get strong enough to play with that team because I wanted to. And like I said, I was not great, but I worked my butt off to become a football player because I thought it was a cool thing to do. My friends all did it. My friends all natural athletes, but I wanted to do it. Same in business.
My athleticism comes from my mom's side.
Clearly. I played lacrosse, but I was a good ground ball guy, cleared the crease, but not like, Joey's talented. So I put that same principles together because I have dyslexia and so on and so forth. Because I had them, I had to always outwork everybody. And that's what I inbred into my children, too. My daughter's unbelievably successful. So is my oldest son, Nick, with Demolition Inc.
Yep.
Just amazing company because they work really hard. And they're really smart, too. So we found this opportunity, proof of concept, and we dragged Joey into this. We did. We're going to outwork everybody. And we're going to build this really cool brand that we want everybody in the world to wear it. Not because we want to make a lot of money. That's not the reason we're doing this. Because it feels really good to do. And it's a really fun trip. And I'm working with my youngest son. Mm-hmm. So it's and at the end of the day, if we make some money, hey, so be it. We're having a trip of our life, and I could, look back on this, and this is the best time of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what you said there lines up perfectly with where I want this conversation to go. Okay. Because you said we're going to outwork everyone. We're going to be relentless. That's something that you said, Joe, in that conversation. For everyone out there who has owned a small business or who is hustling, putting together a job, or as a real estate agent or a loan officer, someone who provides for themselves by going out and getting business, that's very clear. Outworking someone, putting in the hours, putting in the effort, being relentless makes sense to that type of person. What I want to know from you is what does the next level of that look like? Because you can only outwork people to a certain point, right? You can only out-hustle. You can only spend 16 hours a day for how long before you start to burn out? And from someone who's done it before, who's scaled businesses, who's grown them to, larger numbers beyond where you're at with Saltwater right now, what does that next level of outworking people look like? Because it doesn't look like head down, in Greenport every day.
No, it's about the most difficult part of our journey is there's really 3 aspects of business. It's proof of concept, which we've done already. It's the capital to build this companies be very difficult, but it's obtainable. And my biggest role now is to put together a team to bring it to the next level. And I'll start with very simple facts. Joey he came in. I said a lot about that. We have a design team. We have Christine who runs it. She's just grown with the company. Incredible. Now we have a production manager or production director who we brought in because making clothes is not easy. It's been made for a million years, but not easy to make a perfect shirt. And we strive to make it not. We want to be proud of our product, look great, wear great, and have the right sizing because people want to look good when they wear our clothing. And what I've done too is look around and see if I can recruit other people. So I got this guy that I recruited for my e-commerce director. And I look at smart people and I grab people where I can. And if somebody's smart and willing to work really hard and grind with us, so why shouldn't they be part of this incredible opportunity? So I threw out to this guy, and so far so good.
Yeah.
It's working out pretty well. He's sitting right across from me.
Yeah.
He didn't run out of the room yet.
Yeah, he's close. He's halfway out the door. No.
Yeah, not yet.
So
no, but I think that's the part of it that we talk about now. It's like we have the proof of concept. The capital is slowly but surely coming, by working hard and putting in the long 16-hour days. But now it's finding the right people that can get outside of our box that we live in, because we live in the daily grind of 16 hours at the shop and meeting the customers and designing and developing. But how do we take it to that outside world of our saltwater world, which is, the either nationally, internationally, coastal, Central America, wherever it might be. I don't know, but
we've done and I try to interrupt Joe, but on the store level, we have this person that became this customer service guru. We have a person. She is incredible. Not only that, but she's also an incredible person. She's a person going to the warehouse and control the inventory. Not only that, but she could work at store level, sell product because she's clearly loves it, and she's the most passionate person outside of family we have. So to find people like that, her name is Veronica. You could find her in our store in Greenport. You could find her in West Hampton. You could find her in Huntington. She's a 7-day-a-week person, whatever it takes to get things done. That's kind of the model we have here. We have Christine 7 days a week. We have Veronica 7 days a week. We have our production director who's on, I can't tell you how many emails and texts we get from him on the phone with our factories all night long. So we have this incredible, design. People have to see the vision, I guess, or believe in the vision. We grab you on your team. We have guys from your team that I feel like they're probably have become friends. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, what's going on? Sal, what's going on?
Party's classics.
He's a mainstay in every episode.
Eric does the editing.
You're going to
over
sponsor
there.
Pretty soon, so?
Yeah, so it's really
Eric's got his headphones
It's been a team of really great people, down to our people that work in the stores who are we have some 16 and 17-year-old employees that are incredible. These are athletes and student athletes, and they also work really hard with saltwater. We have Lindsay. I can go through the names.
Aaron, Laura, you can name everybody. Aaron, Laura.
There's 15 of these
Carly,
incredibly hardworking from high school. Started with us in high school, worked up through college, and the disappointing part is when we want them to, after college, we want them to move on to the real lives. Although we've made some offers to people.
Yeah,
and we're gonna get one or two that's gonna stay with us because they see the potential. These are really smart kids that work for us. Smart people.
Yeah, so I think the answer to the question is people around us now. People that believe that are savages, that see the future to help us take this from our, island to the world. You know what I mean? And with the right people, and we've been doing it slowly and methodically, like my dad always says, we'll find the right people that buy in and give more than they get right now. and then they'll get it when we all get it. We'll all get it.
Yeah.
That's. But right now we're all working towards this crazy mission, and it's cool to be all together in this spaceship. Eric, import moon edit.
He's got his headphones and he's working over there.
Yeah. I think he hears everything.
Yeah. So
I don't think he does. No, I think
Eric.
Yeah, no, he doesn't hear shit.
Wow.
He's gone.
Yeah, he's in.
So,
I sit right next to him.
I know. So what was my? Was there an answer? Was there an
No,
answer?
yeah, that
you
was
did it.
that
You
was
did
you
it.
answered
Yeah.
it. It was a good answer. And Joe translated as well.
Yeah,
and
clearly.
added some depth to it.
Yep.
What I've realized in the short, it's been over a year, but in a short time of working with you guys and working with you specifically, Buddy, is that you are very good at setting the vision, at getting everyone going in the same direction on your team. How do you develop that skill? Because that's a skill. Like that's a tough thing to do.
It's actually not that hard because
clearly
I believe,
define the vision.
I believe in it so much. This is something that I just heart of hearts, soul to soul, just believe in it. I just like it and believe in it, and it just comes from the heart.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that hard when you love something. Like that shirt that when I first T-shirt I sold, I was kind of embarrassed of it to some extent. And my goal was to make a really great shirt I wouldn't be embarrassed by. I mean that. I was making them, putting labels on crooked probably, and people are liking it. So it was easy. It's easy to. I could never be. I'm not a salesperson. I'm not that person. I can never sell something I love. So I just talk passionate about something I love. It's easy. It's really, really easy. As simple as that. Believe in it. See the vision because it's obtainable.
Mm-hmm.
Small business. Once again, it's really hard.
Yes, great.
Really difficult, and I just it wasn't a small business. It was a small passion. Because once you put the word business in, it becomes hard. So you kind of present it as this is a fun project. Here Joey, take a hat up to Syracuse, see people like it. People liked it. It was like really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So the answer to that is, I couldn't do this if I was to sell cell phones or give a vision of, some of the other smart people out there, these technical people who see the vision on this technical side of things. Steve Jobs could sell a vision because he was really in that world.
Mm-hmm.
And he did. He's one to look at. I'm a podcast junkie. I listen to a lot of great entrepreneurs and podcasts, and I listen to some of the people that I could just, my goodness, nobody does it for the money. They do it for the vision. And at the end of the day, if they become really, really wealthy, it's just byproduct of that.
Mm.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
So what's next? I know we only got a couple minutes left. Where's Saltwater going?
Oh, so what is it's infinity. It's going to grow. We're going to get there.
Yeah.
We built a great foundation. Foundation's strong. The production's great. We haven't done wholesale potentially. We're going to try to grow it, scale it through, and the word scale and ROAS and all the other terms I'm learning. It's just new words. We're going to grow it through e-commerce, direct to consumer. We would love to have, the coolest thing is I get friends go on vacation. They're in Florida and they see our Pima cotton quarter zip down in Miami at a boat show. It's a win for us. So we're looking at scaling through e-commerce. Maybe it becomes wholesale, sooner than later. I'm not sure, but the future is us working really hard. I put a plan on for me personally. I'm 61 years old. I feel like I'm 16.
That's just the dyslexia.
Yeah, exactly. Very good. Good point.
Eric liked that one.
And I feel great. My wife has been supporting me for my whole crazy world of life. So I think at 65 is kind of a number. I had a number in my head. It's 4 years from now. At 65, I want to be at the point that I don't have to work every day, but I probably will still. Sorry, Joe. But I have visions of doing some other things personally, taking a sailboat across the Atlantic. Maybe yes, maybe no. So those are my dreams to get there. So I think the 4-year plan from now until then is having smart people like Joe, like you, like Christine, like Veronica, and like the other, or like Mark, our production person, start taking more control of the day-to-day. And it probably, Joey would be a much better president, CEO, whatever my title is, than I am. So clearly, Joey would, take the reins in 4 years, and I'll just be like, hey, the phone call is, hey, how's everything going? What time is the next production meeting? So I love that production meeting. I love the idea that I think I'm in the world of.
You're a fashion designer.
I think I'm a designer. I'm none of those things. I'm a person who knows what I like to wear, and it feels good when I put it on.
And that's what Saltwater is.
And that's what yeah.
Mic drop.
Thanks.
See ya.
All right, way to end it.
Okay.
Love the feeling. Peace.
Love the feeling.
Good job.
All right.
That was awesome.